All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I'm going to give all honor and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Akarpadash. And we say, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Ba'ashim Akarpadash. And we give double honors to our apostle elders, which are the apostle elders of Great Millstone, and to you hopeful elect on the four corners of the planet Earth that's pushing, fighting for this truth in these last days when the time of the end. Yahbashim Yahushai is doing great works for his name's sake and it's truth, man. Let's jump right into it. This is I'm running StreamYard, but I'm not running it live. Just jumping into this lesson, and I was watching the elders at GMS Dallas. You know they were going in. If you brothers ain't checked the actual stream out, man, it was it's a beautiful lesson. And like it says, when you're watching a lesson, you sort of get motivated as you're watching a lesson. And that's why I stemmed this lesson. I was like, man, you know, when you got the scriptures and the precepts, might as well jump into them. So let's jump right into it. The title of the lesson is "We Had to Understand Sin." Okay, and the apostles and elders always tell us of the I think it's Elder Arya saying that we had to learn good and evil. We had to learn both sides of this coin to be able to be the judges that we're set to be, especially to be the God that we're set to be, the powers that we're set to be, because we're getting ready to inherit the kingdom of heaven in the same of we're getting ready to be gods on the planet Earth. Okay, that's why Yahushua said, it says, "You are gods, but you shall die like men." So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm gonna pull up the Blue Letter Bible. Let's jump into the let me jump into the Apocrypha first. The precept that stemmed this lesson is the book of Ecclesiastes, which is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus. Let's go 17. Let's go to 17. And it's a beautiful concept when you think about it, because we look at something as a negative when it's, you know, the Father made us. You know, the Most High isn't wicked. You know, he controls both sides. So when we see this as us learning sin, because he said he's going to make us perfect, because Yahweh's sacrifice has already paid the tab for our sins, so we're going to be made perfect. The Father's going to, he's going to accept us. It wasn't like we got sin and now we're never going to be accepted. The Father's going to accept us. He's going to make us perfect. This is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 17 and verse 7, okay? And it says, withal, he filled them with the knowledge. See? With all, well, who's with all? He's talking about the sons of God. That's why he says that he that he loveth, he chastises. Okay? And he brings us under that understanding. This is a belt. What is a belt? What is a whooping? Let's look up what a whooping is. What is discipline? Discipline is a lesson. That's to say, don't do this, don't do that. It stems from a lesson. So discipline and judgment and knowledge is a lesson. It's a teacher. Okay? It's likened unto a schoolmaster. Okay? So as we went into sin and we fell, that we had to fall to learn, just like a spoiled child. They say they call them a spoiled brat. Why do they call them a spoiled brat? Because they never experienced anything. They never experienced hardship. So they don't know what it is to be hard up, because they might have been raised in a well-to-do family, or they might have, inherited money. So they didn't have to worry about those things. So that's where you get a spoiled brat. So the Father said, he that spareth the rod spoileth the child. So the Father had to let us taste this if he really did love us. And he wanted us to be the position that we're getting ready to inherit, which is what? Because you got to think, Yahushua is in the position of the morning star. All right, it says, withal, he filled them with the knowledge of understanding. So understanding is just not good, because the Most High said, what? A false balance is an abomination. So we had to learn all this knowledge to learn knowledge. Okay, we can't learn part of knowledge, because that's not all of knowledge. It says, withal, he filled them with the knowledge of understanding and showed them good and evil. Who showed us that? The Most High showed us this. So when you look at it like that, us falling is just a lesson. It's not something to be, of course we don't want to sin. We don't want to go off. That's not something we want to push. Okay? We want to be perfect. But for us to be the true gods that Yahweh Shem Yahshua wants us to be, we had to know good and evil. And who had to show us that? The Father. He had to show us that, just like he showed his son. He showed his son when he came as Adam. He showed him what? The fall. When he came as Yahweh Shai, he redeemed us, and he redeemed him. He redeemed himself first and foremost. When he went on that cross, he redeemed himself, and then he put our sins on himself also. Okay? So he squared us up with the Father. And it says, let's read it one more time. Withal, he filled them with the knowledge of understanding and showed them good and evil. He set his eye upon their hearts, our minds. He scanned our understandings. Okay, Salakia. So you seeing the Father putting his eye upon our hearts. Okay, that he might show them the greatness of his works. So this is how we can truly understand the greatness of Yahweh Shem Yahshua's works, is being what? Fallen. Being in the position. Okay? And it says he gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever. How are we going to glory in his marvelous acts if we don't taste all of his works? Now we know what it is to not be just sitting in glory and not go off and not know what fallen is. Now we know why he's so righteous and what wickedness is. And we can give credence unto him for that. And it says he gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever, that they might declare his works with understanding. So we had to declare sin with understanding. We couldn't just say it. We had to declare it with understanding. Okay? Let's look up what the word understanding is. Now we can see that, and then we can what? We can learn from it. We had to know understanding. And then once we know what understanding is, then we can go from there. Let's look at the etymology. The etymology. Slocket. Spelled it wrong. This is from Etymon on the land. This is from Etymon. It says Old English, understand, to comprehend. What does the word comprehend mean? To grasp an idea of. That means we had to understand fully. We couldn't just take it on the chin and say, oh, this is sin, and then judge it. Because we were angels judging sin. When the Lord created heaven and earth, when he created the creation, all right, we had to be the ones to judge those things. All right. How are we going to judge something we don't know? We said, oh, that's sin. We knew good. We knew perfection. We could judge perfection. But we had to know sin in its fullness. Okay? The word comprehend, it means what? Grasp, mentally, understand, include. So to comprehend means you have to be included in sin. To comprehend something, you must be included in it. Compromise, to encompass a divine order comprehending all men. Encompass, that means you have to be in it. Like it says, how's the water? You got to put your foot in it. We had to put our foot in sin to comprehend it. You must know it to beat it. That's a little saying. You must know it to beat it. All right, that's beautiful, man. Call Elohim Yahweh. We had to be included in it to comprehend it. You can't comprehend something unless you're included in it, unless you were or in it. Comprehend, to grasp the nature, significance of meaning of. We had to know the meaning of sin. To contain or hold within, to total scope, significance or amount. We had to contain sin in us to comprehend it. Wow. Hold within a total scope, significance or amount, to include or construct or implication. If somebody implicates you in a crime, that means that you were a part of that crime. We had to be a part of sin to be implicated with it. Understand that we just didn't have to take sin. We had to be a part of sin to comprehend it. Wow, man. That's why man, I got the precepts. That's why it says what? The Lord made the creature subject unto vanity, so we could comprehend it. The Father made us go under this yoke so we could know what it is, man. And how do you know we didn't choose it? Father, let us know of that. Are you sure? Are you sure? Just like Yahushua said, are you sure you ready to drink this cup that I have to drink? Comprehend, man. So to understand, you must comprehend it. You must be included to grasp an idea, receive from a word or words, or from a sign or ideas its intended to convey. So there's a message in sin. There's a message, and we see it. Don't do it. Don't touch it. Don't go after it. Don't yearn after it. It's corruption. It's just like Mufasa told Simba about the dark place. Said, never go there without me, man. Don't go there. It's darkness. That's what the Father told us, but we had to go there and see it. And then once we see it, we don't want it, man. Okay? It says sign and an idea it is intended to convey, to view in a certain way. Probably, literally, stand in the midst of. Wow. So for us to understand sin, we had to stand in the midst of. Understanding something means you're standing in the midst. Understand means to stand in. You must stand in sin to know it. To understand it, you had to stand in sin. From under, starting to stand. If this is the meaning, the under is not the usual word meaning beneath, but from Old English, under, we had to be under sin to understand it. Between, among, we had to be among sin. Among, between, Latin, ari, between, among. So there's no way we could have known sin unless we was in it. That's why the Father told us he had to make us subject unto vanity, man. He had to make us subject unto vanity. Let's read this over again. I'm just going to let these precepts go, man. So this was a lesson. This wasn't for our downfall. We had to understand it. To know, to be gods, to understand sin, and to judge sin accordingly, we had to be under it. We had to go under sin before we could judge it and understand it. We had to be in the midst of. To comprehend means to what? To be in the midst. To comprehend means to be included in it. We had to be included in sin so we could judge it. So when we judge these nations, we're going to be able to judge them righteously because we were included in sin. We tell them we know sin. We comprehend sin because we were in it. We were included in it. And we are beat it through Yahushua. That's why Yahushua has the victory, man. And he gave us that victory through his sacrifice. We didn't have to beat it. He beat it. He beat the ultimate boss and then gave us the tokens, man. That's why we give glory and honor unto Yahushua's name and his sacrifice, man. We glorify him and we glorify the Father for setting him up to do that, man. So there's no way we can understand sin if we wasn't under it. We had to stand in it. Stand in the midst of it to understand sin. Call Haloyim Yahbashim Yahshua, man. That's all I can say. That's all I didn't know where this lesson was going. Man. And let's keep going. This is Sirach 17 and verse 9. He gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever. We had to go through this to understand what he is and then glorify. We couldn't glorify him unless we went under sin. This is our final level up. that they might declare his works with understanding. We had to be under it, under every work, good and evil. And the elect shall praise his holy name. Call Haloyim Yabashim Yashai. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. And this is to the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. Okay? So for us to know sin, we had to be under sin. I gotta do a part 2 to this. I think this hits the point, man. There's a lot of definitions that came out, but I think this is the point. I'm gonna do a part 2 because I'm gonna dive into it with that knowledge and knowing, man. We had to be under sin to know it. Let me get this real quick. Man, this is 1 Corinthians. This is 1 Corinthians 2 and verse 14. And it says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the spirit of Yahweh, but they are foolishness unto him. Neither can they knoweth them, because they are spiritually discerned. So you have to know this spiritually. You have to understand this spiritually. All right. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things. Once we know this part of sin, we can judge it. Yet he himself is judged of no man. So they won't be able to judge us. They'll be like, you don't know what it feels like to go through. You perfect. You glow. You the sons of God. You don't have no idea. We're gonna say, yes, we do. We understand sin. We know sin. We were under it. Okay, we comprehend it. You can't say we don't. This is 1 Corinthians 2, 1 and verse 2. It says, unto the church, let me jump right here. Hold on. Let me jump there in Romans. And it says, for the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope. So we were made to go under sin for the Yahweh Shem Yahshua's purpose. It wasn't willingly, but we had to understand it, man, so we could judge it. So with that, I want to give our honor and praise unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kadash. And we say, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, by Hashem Kadash. Until the next time, keep faith, keep fighting, keep pushing. Man, we had to understand sin, and we know it now. So when we deliver, Lord willing, we be a part of that glorious number, we going to know, man. And then we going to give more glory and honor to our power. Shalom.